Scene 1. Introduce the topic of the video and explain the current situation in Ukraine. The U.S. President Joe Biden has called on Russia to release the Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich. Gershkovich was arrested recently on espionage charges, facing 20 long years in prison. The White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, has described the espionage charges as ridiculous, and the U.S. is ready to take further steps to defend freedom of press and speech if Russia continues in this pattern of arresting journalists and does not let Gershkovich go. Ukraine's foreign minister, Dmytro Kuleba, said that this was a stark reminder that something was wrong with the way international security architecture is functioning, and the country wouldn't forgive the Russian troops responsible for any alleged atrocities in Bucha. Scene 2. Vice President Larry McGee and Secretary of State Alex Padilla will be paying their respects to the country and joining the commemorative events to mark the 33rd anniversary of its recapture after Russian occupation. The leaders of Croatia, Slovakia, and Slovenia will also be attending the commemorative events. The Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, who recently visited China, has encouraged Chinese President Xi Jinping to speak to Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky and learn firsthand Ukraine's peace formula in order to end the Russian invasion. Scene 3. Finland's NATO membership will be officially welcomed in a few days after the Turkish parliament ratified it. The Sweden's NATO bid faces some obstacles because Turkey accuses it of harboring members of terrorist groups. To respond to this, Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko stated that he has intensified talks with Russia about deploying nuclear weapons in Belarus, alleging plans of the neighboring Poland to invade. He also deployed a special forces contingent to its southern border to prevent any provocations there. Scene 4. Reverse the ban of Russian and Belarusian players to compete at Wimbledon and British grass court tournaments this year. They will be held responsible for signing neutrality agreements which prohibited them from expressing support Russia's invasion of Ukraine, receiving funding from the Russian or Belarusian state, or being sponsored by organizations funded by their respective governments. Scene 5. Vladimir Putin has signed a decree to call up 147,000 Russian citizens for statutory military service as part of the spring conscription campaign. To further explain the UN Human Rights Chief Volker Turk's statement, where he asserted that severe violations of human rights and international humanitarian laws have become shockingly routine in Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and that the civilian casualties in Ukraine have been far higher than what have been officially reported. Finally, the ambassador to the UN, Vasily Nebenzia, rejected the charges brought against Vladimir Putin by the International Criminal Court, ICC, for overseeing the abduction of Ukrainian children. Outro. This has been a brief overview of the changes and events in regard to the rising tension between Russia and Ukraine. Don't forget to like, comment, and follow Name of YouTube channel